several of the LIV players and their leadership in the absence of OWGR accreditation have sort of intimated it's up to the majors, you know, to make sure that some of the best players that are on that tour get included. You went through exactly how you looked at it in terms of the PGA, but you're on the OWGR board. The access for them is obviously going to wane as some of their players are no longer exempt. Bryson's a good example after next year. How do you see it being resolved going forward? Are you sort of hopeful sitting on the side that there is some sort of a deal made?
So yeah, there's an OWGR question in there, and then there's also a deal question in there, right? So you snuck two in there, but I'll answer them both, I promise. One thing I failed to mention earlier, however, is that I just wanted to thank Sally Morgan from the Kentucky Golf House and Chad Martin who's the president of our Kentucky section, for welcoming us here and being such a part of Seneca as well. So I should have done that before. So on the three things, I think. One is in terms of our invites, which Kerry answered obviously so well already. You know, we said last year it's going to be a bit more of an art form than a math problem, right? And you know, we have the flexibility to do that, and I think we've, you know, put together the best field in golf, and that's, you know, Kerry's job, and we all sort of sign off on it, and we're very proud of what we're doing here. As far as OWGR goes, you know, when LIV asked for points, first of all, they publicly kind of assumed they were going to have points. I think, you know, made some promises potentially even, and really didn't apply for a while after that, and then finally did apply, and I think they expected an answer in, you know, a very short period of time. And, you know, that's just never happened in any, you know, we always kind of look at new tours, and they take a bit of time. One is, are they going to be successful? Are they going to actually launch? Are they going to, you know, survive more than one season? And what quality of play is going to be there before we, you know, begin to kind of think about it. So I think they were misunderstood kind of how the process went. I'm not saying that's their fault. I just think that they misunderstood. I would say, again, I'm one board member, but we were very responsive throughout. Went back and forth in a number of different times. You know, Peter Dawson, who's our chairman, independent chair, had a lot of conversations with them. I didn't have any directly. And we told them there was some stuff that we could solve, which is, you know, 54 holes and no cut. Like, yeah, we can solve for that, and we certainly will. You know, will in other places, both 54 holes and no cut now on some of the tour events. But there was two fundamental things that, you know, we weren't sure we could solve for with math, which was relegation and promotion. And what that looked like, because that was murky, and they didn't want to share exactly who, you know, was sort of there, and so we never knew the percentages of what that would look like. And secondly, just the inherent conflict of team versus individual play, and whether that could create a, you know, situation. And it actually became public last year when one of the players talked about, you know, kind of trying to two-putt as opposed to make a putt to win a tournament. He was trying to two-putt for his team. And so we went back with that and told them if they could solve that, or, you know, we could engage on it. Kind of went back and forth a few times, but they didn't change their position. We didn't really change ours. We've had very serious conversations about it. And then, you know, without telling us publicly, they've withdrawn their, you know, their application. And so I don't think OWGR's job is to, you know, to seek out tours to do that. And if they wanted to reapply, we'd certainly, you know, entertain it. So I feel like, you know, we've behaved properly and Kerry sits on the technical committee that reviews all this stuff. And you know, we've, I think, behaved very well and properly, and it's been very cordial. It's not, you know, a war or any, I don't want to pretend that. And you know, they were responsive too, but they didn't get an answer that, you know, they wanted. So that's kind of where it is, and, you know, et cetera. On the deal side of things, look, I said earlier it's messy, and it has been, right? And it seems to get messier every week. I'm a little bit, you know, I'm a very optimistic type, and I'm sort of hoping it's darkest before dawn, if you will. But I think, you know, I think the best thing for the game is a deal, and we've been very consistent on that front. You know, what has been you know, not an unsustainable business model has put pressure on other places like the tour that creates, you know, some financial dynamics as well as other dynamics that are very hard, and frankly, it's put some financial pressure on us as well. And I don't think that the game is big enough for two tours like that. And I think we're diluting the game in a way that is not healthy for you know, and we've said that really from the beginning. So I hope there's a deal. I think both sides are not only committed to try and find a deal, but really need a deal. And in my history of deal making, when both sides kind of need something to happen, it generally does. I don't know the timing. I don't have any insider information that you all don't have, but I'm hopeful that there will be a deal over time. And what I would say is I hope there's urgency, because I do think it's doing damage to the tour, to the game. As I said earlier, I hope it's short-term damage as opposed to, you know, permanent damage. And so I hope there's some urgency in the timing around it, because I don't think it's a healthy situation right now.